Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, HaRachakudash, double honors being to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this 100% truth. Much peace and blessings being to your whole food, like that to push out this word of thought, truth, and sincerity. To all you I can say Shalom. I am the Akira. I'm from the servants Yahweh Shai Camp, coming with the quick hit, going to the book of 1 Corinthians, the 9th chapter, verse 24, which reads, Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Alright, so with the Apostle Paul, we're being likened, to those ancient athletes from back then. All right, because back in ancient Greece, you have the ancient Olympic Games, and you'd have the contestants. They prepared themselves before the course, took place. They would what's it called? Get about leanness about them. They would get about leanness so they could improve in their agility and speed. They'd improve their strength by doing all these body workouts. They suffered themselves. To be the best, man. Right? Hey, we're being likened to these guys, man. Those ancient athletes, and also to your modern day athletes and your bodybuilders. All right, your bodybuilders, like case in point, Mr. Olympia. You got these men out there. They train hard. They waste money, investing in their physique. Eat 7 times a day. A lot of high protein meals. And then when that day comes and they're on stage, they're showing their physique, and hey, hopefully they get that. They win Mr. Olympia. They get that medal, right? They want to be the bigger one there. That's that prize. There's a reward, for being first place. Hey, so we're being likened to what's it called? These contestants, man. Hey, because we're spiritual athletes. If I'm mistaken, it was the Apostle Paul that made mention of it. Doesn't the scripture say, exercise godliness? Come on. When it's exercise that brings your strength up to be able to partake in these in these courses, man. All right, you got certain jobs. Their physical requirements are to do like 25 push-ups minimum or more. That's an example. But first, you gotta start trying. You gotta start practicing, right? So this is the book of 1 Timothy, the 4th chapter, verse 8. Makes mention how, part of the exercise is good, but godliness is profitable unto all. So, verse 7. Or actually, verse 7. But refuse profane and old wives' fables, and exercise thyself rather unto godliness. And the exercise, bear with me, Akim. To that word exercise, in the Greek, it goes back to the Greek word gymnasia.
Strong's G 1129. Gymnasia.
All right, gymnasia, and it means to exercise vigorously in any way, either the body or the mind. Basically, the exercise is basically to a physical activity. All right, it's a task involving physical movement. All right. Hey, you got your modern day calisthenics, you got your calisthenics, which if I'm mistaken, hey, Jake, because, that I can maybe mention how, broke it down how the ancient Spartans, they were really Jake, the Lacedaemonians, as you read about in the Maccabees, but they partook in what's known as calisthenics, which I forget what it is in the Greek, but, it translates to beautiful strength, all right, so, over time, improving your form as you get stronger, and your motion is better. All right, your motion is better when it comes to these body workouts, right? But it goes on to say back in 1 Timothy, the 4th chapter, verse 8. All right, For bodily exercise profiteth little. Yeah, profits little because it's vain at the end of the day, man. And the book of Ecclesiastes, it proves that, how the, one generation passeth and another one cometh, and, the works of men, there's nothing left, man. I'm trying to get that out if I can find it. Alright, Ecclesiastes 1, and I'm going to start with verse 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem, and as Yahushua speaking when he was back as King Solomon, having all the wisdom. So verse 2, vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. And what does it mean to be vain? Alright, what is vanity / vain? Conceit, something pointless, and pretty much everything in this world is pointless. Building a house is pointless because at the end of the day it's going to get destroyed, man. The scriptures can prove that in the book of Malachi, the first chapter, how Esau will build up, but the Lord will throw down, so it's pointless in having these buildings. But going on, verse 3, he says, what profit hath a man of all his labor, which he taketh from the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. You see? But going back to 1 Timothy, the 4th chapter, verse 8, it reads, for bodily exercise profiteth little. Yeah, you come and go. We are as yesterday, the scriptures say. We are as nothing. We are as a worm. All right, we live like a few days. And you read about that in the book of Job, man. All right, man, it's a few days. All right, then go back to, place of darkness, referring to the spirit world. But profiteth little, but godliness, all right, godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is, and that which is to come. You see? Especially now more so in this time, that's effectual right there. And because if you continue to push on, doing what's right, doing the will of the Lord, rehearsing these righteous acts, things of that sort, setting your affection on things above, in the heavens, being spiritual minded, all right, exercising godliness. Godliness means to the quality of being devout, religious piety. Religious meaning servitude, to serve the Lord. So, this godliness is profitable into possibly getting delivered, man. Lord will. Hey, work out your own salvation. This is in the book of Philippians, the 4th chapter, or not 4th chapter, the 2nd chapter, verse 12. So for bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having the promise of the life. That the promise of the life. What is that life? Anytime I know no life after death, living up in Cloud City with some white ass angels and female angels, and no, man, no. Now, that's all Esau's doctrine. That's his crap right there. That's his shit. That's his thing. No, but hey, the promise of life is getting delivered, being changed in the twinkling of an eye, and being changed into that new body. That perfect body, that spiritual body. All right, that inherits immortality. That would never go off. There'd be no reason to die, man. No reason to suffer consequence of death, because why? We'll be sinless. Hey, we won't age. Hey, we'll live forevermore. We'll be immortal. We'll be perfect, man. Righteous, all these things. Hey, the book of Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, makes a mention of, bind the commandments upon thy neck, and thou shalt live a long life. Right? Hey, because the righteous ways, the law is the way to please the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, these are the ways to please Him, to please the Lord. So having the promise of the life that now is, and of that which is to come. All right, this is a faithful saying worthy of all acceptation. For therefore we both labor and suffer reproach, because we trust in the living power, who is the Savior of all men, especially of those that believe. All right. So for therefore we both labor and suffer reproach. Especially in this thing, man. Constantly being out there, man. We face all this ridicule, but hey, haven't we faced a ridicule back in the ancient world? If we were those same prophets, Lord will. Well, just keep on, sucking it up, man, and pushing out, man. Hey, labor, to labor is a physical thing. you're putting your back into it, man. All right, you're putting your back into it. Labor means hard physical work. So, exercising godliness, what's it called? Involves both labor and suffering. Hey, patiently suffer. A patient meaning to be waiting upon, right? Waiting quietly. So, patiently suffering is to endure. That's what the Lord is seeking for, man. You look at all these modern day athletes, and physically they have to endure and suck it up. Especially when you're out doing your cardio, doing a run. That shit hurts, man. Running hurts. All right, it's a killer. It's brutal. It's all mental. You suck it up. You endure. And then you increase, man. You push yourself beyond your limits. Right. But going back to verse 8. But godliness is profitable unto all things. Also, like, this is the right piece that I wanted to bring out. It was 1 Corinthians, I remember. So 1 Corinthians, the 9th chapter, verse 25. And every man that striveth verse 24, I'm going to reread that again. Know ye not that they which run in the race run on, but one receiveth the prize. So run that you may obtain. Yeah, run if you really want it, right? And that's what we do. That's what we're showing that we want it, man. And we got to keep on being consistent and concise and well-restrained, self-controlled. All right, that shows you that you really want it, man. To this day. Consistency is a thing, Consistency is what the Lord is looking for, man. It's not a one-time thing where you do one good deed and then you're set. No, man. All right, the scriptures even go into how the Lord will forget your works, man. If a righteous man, turn from his ways and doeth evil, the Lord will forget that the man's righteousness and his works. So that was in the book of Ezekiel, the 18th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. But continuing on to 1 Corinthians, the 9th chapter. Verse 25, it says, and every one that striveth, the striving in the fight, labor, move, hustle. So, and every man that striveth for the mastery, and that mastery, it means the victory in the war or contest. All right, so every man that wars, if you will, striveth, war, if you will, wars in that contest. Fights in that contest, battles in that contest, is temperate in all things. Temperate meaning self-control, self-restraint. That's what we're supposed to be, man. So, we're supposed to be temperate. All right? And every man that's ready for the mastery is temperate in all things. Yeah, and if you look into the Greek, if I'm mistaken, it's either for mastery or temperate. There is a definition I wanted to bring out. I believe it was temperate. It goes back to the Greek word angreumohe, something like that.
Strong's G 1467. Ekratuamai.
Oh.
Ekratuamai.
Ekratuamai. I really butchered that. But the outline of biblical usage is to be self-controlled, continent, to exhibit self-government, conduct oneself temperately. Right? So temperate means to be self-controlled. Right? But it also means in a figure drawn from athletes who, in preparing themselves for the games, abstain from unwholesome food. Yeah, food. If I had mentioned earlier, food, plays a big role, in your physique, man. All right, it does 90% of the job, Hey, because you want to make sure you're getting those proper nutrients, man. And also, food, affects your spirituality. Because you could be eating, total dog shit, and then you can feel bad the whole day. You feel condemned, not for some reason you want to go off and whatnot. Hey, so food, has toxins. And food also has, medicinal properties that avail you, man, or aid you, however you pronounce that word. But it goes on to say, for the games abstain from unwholesome food, wine, and sexual indulgence. So you're supposed to, those are examples of, things these athletes withdrew themselves from in preparation of a certain game. So likewise are we, man. We're supposed to put away the lusts of the flesh, and we're supposed to think, heavenly, man. We're supposed to think, on the spiritual. The flesh wants to do so, and so we'll subjugate it, man. I tell myself that first and foremost. Subjugate means to enslave. Hey, you read that verse where it says, actually, it's the same chapter. It says, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection. When you read that in a different translation, it says, I enslave my body. Hey, that's how literal it is, man. We're supposed to be like that. But going back to verse 25, it says, now they do it, these athletes, they do it, they run that race. They train hard to run that race. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown. Yeah, they're corruptible. Which that word corruptible, no, not only does it mean, evil, but look into the definition of that word corruptible. It also means, what's it called? Decomposing, to perish. Because, a lot of those, trophies that ones, gained through something called the wear and tear. All right, they eventually, fall away. All right, that's why you don't got much preserved. We don't got much preserved artifacts. Based off of games from back in the ancient world, man. When was the last time you saw a freaking a crown from a contestant, from way back when, and it's up in the museum. That is the case, and that's your part that's been preserved. All right, but most of those rewards they all perish, man. All right, anything organic, anything in this side of the world, anything terrestrial, it all perishes, man. Like this flesh, we all go back to the dust, right? We're all composed of elements. It's even proven, that after organic matter dies, it could also be inorganic. It decomposes, man. It decomposes. So going back, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but crown, but we an incorruptible. And what's that incorruptible talking about? That immortality. All right, which I'm going to get that out in the book of James. But going on, verse 26, it says, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I preach to others, I myself should be cast away. But there's the book of James, the first chapter, verse 12, it says, Blessed is the man that endure temptation, man. All right, that's the battle, that's the contest, that's the war that we're fighting. That's our mastery that we're striving for. That's our mastery. Temptation, because it all begins in the mind, right? It's a mental battle. So blessed is a man that endures temptation. Blessed is a man that labors and suffers, temptation. For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. See? Hey, to receive, that's a reward. So we receive that crown of life, man. And that's why, you keep on running, man. Keep on pushing, man. Keep on, you see that finish line, whether it be a line on the ground, a limit line, or a black and white squared banner. Keep on pushing, man. You don't want to stop before you pass the line. You want to stop right after you touch the line. You want to keep on moving, man. So I just want to do a quick lesson on that, and Lord was an edifying lesson. And to the next one, I say shalom.